When people buy honey from me, they oftentimes ask me, what can they do if the honey happens to harden in the jar after a few months or whatever? So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can kind of liquefy the honey again. You may not be able to get it to its original liquid state, but you'll definitely be able to get a softer honey, a honey that is easier to spread and easier to get out of the jar. Let's go. All right, so one thing you have to understand is that honey, even on a chemical level, is just basically a sugar water solution. There are other things in the honey that makes it honey, and that's being enzymes that the bees provide, even small pollen, spores, different nutrients, vitamins, minerals, those types of things. So it is really a healthy, natural food. And there are some plants that have in their nectar a higher glucose to fructose ratio. Now this ratio will determine how quickly a honey will harden in the jar throughout the year. Some of those plants that have a higher glucose to fructose ratio are canola or dandelion. And some that are lower are chestnuts and honeydew based honey. Now some beekeepers, knowing this about this ratio of glucose to fructose, they will actually speed up the crystallization process by stirring the honey, and that will cause the honey to become really creamy. So instead of having the typical golden brown trickling down honey that you see basically on most ads for honey, you'll have a more creamy, more spreadable, kind of almost like a jam consistency that you can actually nicely spread onto your bread. Some people don't like that sugar crystal texture when they're eating the honey, so some people really try to avoid that honey at all costs. So how can you do this the safe way? Well, it's rather simple. Now, some people would think that you can just put honey in the microwave and warm it up and then it will, become nice and liquidy, but there's a problem in that. One, a microwave does not heat food evenly, so there's a good chance that you will damage some of the honey, while some of the honey won't even be warmed up at all. Do not use the microwave. You will destroy the honey. Instead, what you're going to do is you can get a bowl. Get a bowl that's a little bit bigger than the container of your honey. Then, of course, you need your jar of honey, and you just simply place the jar of honey into that bowl. And then you're going to fill up that bowl, completely surrounding that jar of honey with some hot water. The temperature of this water should not be higher than 40 degrees Celsius or 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything higher than that, you're going to really break down those healthy enzymes, those nutrients, the minerals that make honey what it is, and basically you could just throw away the honey then. So one thing you can do to speed up the process, it would be to open the jar and stir it a few times. But you have to be really super careful that you do not get any water into the jar. Water and honey, when they're mixed together, if you tighten up that jar again, put it in the cupboard, it's going to ferment. So you want to avoid that at all costs. So this particular honey that I have here, I think it is a lime's honey. So it has a higher glucose ratio. So that means that basically this honey, even though I had it nice and warm and I warmed it up quite a bit and stirred it quite a bit, it's not going to be back to its original liquid form. It's become more creamy, it's a lot softer now, and it's definitely easier to get out of the jar. I hope this video was helpful. See you next time.